Hello, everybody, and get ready for the Wrestling with the Paranormal Christmas special. Look, I got my Christmas cigarette.
Hey!
Hey, everyone, I am the Enlightened One.
And I'm Craig the Gray here with a very special episode, Wrestling with the Paranormal.
Merry Christmas to everyone out there, and happy holidays and Hanukkah and all that stuff. This is our Christmas special. Yeah! Woo! Is on the show. It's just half behind me. Cool cat.
Yeah, you got a cat. I got a Christmas hat. We both have Christmas hats.
Now, did you forget to take the tag off of that, or?
Oh, I'm a Christmas gangster. See, it's cool. It's cool to keep your tag on. That's what the kids do. And they put
your. Planning on returning that after the show?
Well, it was $3.50, so you know.
It adds up.
if people want me to keep the hat, they got to buy an extra T-shirt. Okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
Before we get started on the show, as you know, some people know, some people don't. My dad has cancer, and he's got a few weeks to live here, and so I had 2 shirts made up. One says my other persona is Canada Dry on the other podcast, and so I had the Canada Dry shirt made up, and the second shirt I had made up said Canada Dad. In the corner says Dirty Harry, and so I really wanted to get those shirts done in time for Christmas, and I didn't wait till Christmas because I you don't know if you got tomorrow. So I had the picture taken. I had a video made up, and so we're gonna watch that video now.
There it is. Squatch down. Whoops. Try to stand up properly. Look out.
Yeah, we did do that. Okay, you got a full picture of us? No. Look at the camera now. How's that? Champion of the world right here, baby. Right here, this is the champ. This is Canada Dry Classic, motherfuckers.
I don't swear.
Mother truckers. What do you think, Jimmy? See if you can put it on your shoulder.
Can I ask one of you to turn on that light called Bill? Mr. Green.
Well, yeah. So yeah, that was the video that the picture I really wanted to get done. So we made a video, and then you could kind of take clips from that to make multiple pictures, right? So really meant a lot to me to get that video of him as the Canada Dad, Dirty Harry, together with the championship belt. And so those shirts are on sale at the store, Pro Wrestling Tees /F and Wrestling. And if you buy one of those shirts, all the proceeds, all the profit that we make goes to fight cancer.
Awesome.
On either of those shirts. And there's also another one, the Prestige F Cancer, that also goes to fight cancer. So if you buy any of those 3 shirts, it goes to fight cancer. We don't make a cent off those, and it's just it's the right thing to do.
For sure.
So, transitioning. So we're gonna alternate Christmas stories here.
Yeah.
Hey, check this out. I got Christmas cookies.
I am drinking hot chocolate, very Christmassy drink, out of a brand new mug that I got. It's got Baby Yoda. It says snack on it. And there's another side that says attack on it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really cute. And it says protect. It's like a little Christmas Baby Yoda mug.
You know, last week I got hooked on that Black-Eyed Children cola. I had to have it again.
All these sponsors, like, they just, what we do with sponsorship is we retroactively, like, we do the ad, and then you send us the money later.
Yeah.
Right?
Black-Eyed Children cola. We'll knock on your door and take your fridge. I don't know. That's the name of their slogan. It's kind of crazy. Yeah. I don't know.
All right, who's starting off here? We're talking about
I'll start off.
Christmas stories. All right.
You know, it's a good time of year. We've got the Christmas cheer. We just want to, lighten up your life. Uh, give you some joy. So this story comes from 2011, December 2011, and this woman named Darren Cipher. She just finished her Christmas shopping, and all of a sudden her phone rings. Can you give me a phone ring sound? Hello, is this the doctor's?
I don't. We were supposed to have a script. No, it's
You don't know. You don't know what the doctor's going to say. So of course not. Anyway, so the doctor phones and says, we got your test back, and we found out that you are having a heart attack right now. Like it's been of this long period of time, and you need to phone 911 and have them come and get you right away. And so they rush her to the hospital, and the husband and her are praying the whole time. They're scared out of their minds, and so they get her in there, and 4 of her arteries are clogged up, and so they need to do a quadruple bypass surgery. So they end up getting the surgery done. She goes to the recovery area, and 5 hours into the recovery area, she flatlines. And so they rush her back into surgery to, trying to help her. And she's dead for 20 minutes. And she wakes up, and she's in a coma for like 2 days. And so she was in heaven. She ended up being in heaven. And she was in there for 20 minutes. And so she left her body, and she could see it from as she was leaving her body. And then she was on the shores of heaven. And all these people were shouting, Jehovah, Jehovah. And Jesus comes, and he's just radiating this pure love and energy. And so I guess they're walking side by side, and she noticed in his hands, she noticed like the nail scars in his hands, and it just kind of gave her like, okay, this is heaven, this is Jesus. And but what she realized is, she's feeling all good in heaven, but she realized that her husband and her kids and her grandchildren, they're all going to miss her, and they're going to have a hard time without her. And so she tells this to God, that she needs to go back. And so she wakes up. Oh no! First of all, she can see everyone praying for her while she's in heaven. She sees her husband. She sees her grandchildren. She sees her children. They're all praying for her. She can see all the different nurses and everyone and the doctors. And so she wakes up from her comatose and starts telling everyone, like, I saw you, and I saw what you were doing. And they were just amazed that she knew all this stuff. And so she gets out of the hospital, but they're like, listen, you've been through a lot. You're probably never going to walk again. You're probably going to be in a wheelchair for the rest of your life. But she wouldn't accept that answer, and so she believed that God was going to let her walk again. And after physiotherapy, she began using a walker, and eventually she walked again. And the doctors called her the Christmas miracle. And that's the story that we have here.
Wait, that's the end of the story?
Yeah.
She doesn't. I thought that she was going to turn out to have been a ghost that whole time.
No, it's an encouraging Christmas miracle.
But I thought we were doing spooky like a spooky Christmas special.
What?
It's like spooky. Yeah, we're not doing
No,
spooky.
we're trying to encourage people. Like, look at the cat. Like, come on, he doesn't want to be scared.
I mean, I
What?
mostly took notes on spooky stories.
Well, see, that's the thing. Look at my shirt. My shirt is bright and colorful, and yours is like it's like scary, dark.
Yeah, it's like wrestling with the paranormal. It's like, Christmas
Christmas
special.
episode.
Okay, all right. Well, I got some.
I guess we got to do it how we got to do it. Okay,
Gotta
tell
do
us
it how we
about
got. These are the notes I got. So
Okay, so I guess that's how we got to do it.
This is a show for everybody.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna take you back with my story while your cat's going crazy over there.
He's looking. Christmas.
So this is a Christmas story. This takes place on December 24th, Christmas Eve party, 1890. Okay. We're down in South Bend, Indiana. And this story is told by the Reverend Samuel Malalou. It's kind of an interesting French name. And he's going to this house party at the home of farmer Tom Lurch. Someone that's in his congregation. And the whole town's there. The whole village is there. Like all the important people are there. They're having a gay old time.
Look. Santa.
It's Santa Claus. Maybe we'll talk about Santa Claus later. Is he paranormal?
Keep telling story. How many cookies enjoy?
Yeah. So they're at this Christmas party, and so by 10 p.m. they have drank all of the water because it's just a swinging party. Everybody's thirsty, right? So they need to get more water. They send out Oliver Hirsch. That's Oliver Lurch. That's Tom Lurch's son. They send him out to fetch a pail of water from the, 2 pails of water because they have the big stake with like 2 pails on it. Go out to the well outside, get some water. So he leaves and he goes by himself. And then a few minutes later, the guests all hear screaming from outside. They're like, whoa, what's going on? So a whole bunch of the guests run outside the house to see what's going on. And they hear Oliver screaming, but they can't see him anywhere. They see he's nowhere to be found. Everybody's looking around. They can't see him. The Reverend can see Oliver's footprints leaving the house, and they get close to the well. But then all of a sudden, the footprints disappear, and there's one of the buckets that he was carrying is next to the well, but the other bucket's nowhere to be found, and they can't find him. So they start looking around, and suddenly they hear his voice, Oliver's voice, saying, "Help! Help! It's got me!" Right?
Yeah.
Now, so the guests hear, and then they hear another scream, and then Oliver's voice sounds like it gets fainter and fainter, like he's screaming and calling things out, and it sounds like it's getting fainter and fainter and fainter and going away, and then it's gone. So the next morning they do a full search. There's no trace of him ever found. Now this is what's interesting. Yeah, we got some Merry Christmases from our live viewers.
And someone's saying we're Satan Claus.
What? Okay, we're not going to talk about Satan this episode, but I am going to talk about Krampus later, so you stay tuned for that. Now, speculation about this story, the guy goes out to the well. So this is really crazy, is all the speculation that happened after. Some people think that one of the guests murdered him and threw his body down the well, and then they faked his voice when all the guests went out there. I don't really understand why they would do that. Somebody else said, this was one of the official stories, is that he somehow accidentally got caught on the line of a hot air balloon that was flying by, and there was like a loose line, and it caught him and picked him up and probably carried his body off into the sky and then dumped it in somewhere in the forest, and they just never found it. Then other people later think that this might have been one of the earliest UFO abductions.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we got some speculation there.
So this happened on Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve. And his girlfriend was there too. And the guy just disappears and she never sees him again. That would be scary.
So he screamed. No one saw him.
Nobody could see him. They could hear his scream, but nobody could see him. Maybe he got something, took him down the well, because they heard his voice getting fainter and fainter. And then he was just gone, and they couldn't find him.
It almost seems like he was cloaked, like some sort of cloaking device, covering him up or something with the grab.
Could be. Was he on the naughty list? Maybe something took him. Because what happens when you're on the naughty list?
So when did this happen?
1890. So this is a long time ago.
So this is before popular
Yeah,
alien abductions.
absolutely.
As we talked about in a previous show, is that demonic abductions would happen around this time and prior to this.
There was also no like they didn't. It's interesting that nobody thought it might have been a cryptid. Like it could have been.
As someone said, Santa's deers took him. Possibly, you don't know. Those deers are up to no good.
How do they fly? Right? How does that even work? They don't even have wings. It's
Yeah.
crazy. All right, so there's it's a spooky Christmas special. I guess we're gonna tag back to hear one of your uplifting,
Make the tag.
happy stories. Here we go.
Uh,
That's how we tag. We
Make the
tag.
tag.
We tag opposite. We
Yeah,
take
it's like
the opposite
Pac-Man.
side of the street. Yeah, because actually there's a multi-dimensional hole there, and our hands actually clap.
And the world is flat, so well, we're not going with that. No, we're not. No, the world's not flat.
Anyway,
Anyways.
back to you. What do we got?
All right. So this also happened on Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1993. And her name was Trisha Zerba. And Trisha Zerba was a bit of almost a semi-professional. She's 14 years old, and she's won a lot of awards, horseback riding. And so they have this ex-racehorse. He's kind of retired, but she loves this horse.
Okay, wait. Can I interrupt you for a second? They call it horseback riding. Is there horse front riding? Is there another kind of horse riding?
That's a good point.
Like how do
You
you
are
ride
very-
the front of a horse?
I'm going to go horse front riding one day.
You try it. Yeah. Good luck.
I imagine that would be
Anyway.
the horse maybe floating on his back in the water, and you sit on his belly.
Oh, yeah. Don't they? Okay, when they play water polo, don't they have the horse in the water? They have horses in the water when they, because the polo they do it on horses.
The water polo.
Water polo.
I thought
No, I'm pretty sure the horses swim.
I thought water polo was just there's no horses in water polo.
Yeah, there must be. It's polo. How do you play polo without horses?
Anyways, back on
Okay,
topic.
sorry. Go ahead.
So they have this ex-racehorse, and it's Christmas Eve. She wants to go relax and ride her horse. But it's Thanksgiving. What I was thinking, horse front riding would be awesome. Thank you, Justin. I don't know what you're saying, Justin. Sometimes you just gotta ignore them. I love you, Justin, but so anyways, it's an ex-racehorse, and she loves this horse, and usually it just relaxes. It's got all this power, but it doesn't use it, and she likes to ride on this horse, and something spooks the horse, and the horse just starts going at 100% because it's got all this power. It's an ex-racehorse, right? And this girl is not prepared to ride a racehorse. She's going riding a clip-clop, and the horse falls over and lands on her. And when for horses to get up, they got to put more weight back down on the ground to push themselves back up. And so that's what the horse did. It pushed all its weight onto her. And it says it's a 12. I think it's like where do I got it? I think it's 1,200-pound horse.
Oh,
Yeah, it's at least 1,200 pounds.
horses are big. Horses are really big. Yeah.
So miraculously, she's okay. The horse, she's a little banged up, but she's got nothing broken. She's just sore muscles, sore everything. But miraculously, she ends up spending the Christmas with her family, opening presents, and
Did she go to the hospital?
I don't think they even went to the hospital. She said she was fine, and so she's just laying on the couch, opening presents the next morning, and she's a little stiff. And a couple of weeks goes by, and she's in the bathtub, and she goes to get up out of the bathtub, and I guess she faints, and she whacks her head on the tub. And mom and dad find her in there, all out cold, and they rush her to the hospital and do all these tests on her, and all of a sudden she starts feeling this incredible pain down her back to her legs, where the horse would have landed on her. And so it's called, they found out she has something called RSD, which is Reflex Sympathetic Dystrophy. And so what that is there's absolutely nothing wrong with you, but your brain is confused and telling you there is something wrong with you. So she's got all this incredible pain, where she's just in agony all day because your brain is making these pain signals go. And so she's just feeling all this pain, and the doctors don't know what to do. It goes around 3 months, and the doctors, they go to the parents, listen, your daughter is not going to get any better. She's 14, by the way. Hold on, I just need a drink. When you start telling stories, it kind of gets that rasp in your throat. So the doctors say, you know what? She's not going to get any better. You got to consider getting on with your lives and institutionalizing her, and we'll take care of her. And so that night, she's in complete agony again. And she's just like trying to figure out how to cope with it, right? So a lot of the people that deal with this end up committing suicide because it's just too much.
Wow.
And so she decides, you know what, I'm just going to pray. And she prays, and not really for herself, not a woe's me sort of prayer. Just, I'm going to pray. And all of a sudden, the pain starts leaving her body. It's starting up here, and it's like going down, and it's going all the way down her legs, and it's disappearing until it exits out her feet. So she's no longer feeling any pain. And she's just kind of, and she's feeling this warm sort of vibrations on her body as well. It's comforting sort of feeling. And she hears what she believes to be God saying, stand up, get up. And so she's not really sure. She's going nuts or whatever, right? This is all a lot for a 14-year-old girl to take in. And so she's like, okay, I'm going to need a little bit more, God. And I said, get up. So just like he said before, just repeating himself, I said, get up. So she gets up out of the bed.
It could have also been James Brown. Get up off of that thing.
Get up.
Get up.
So she goes out into the hospital, into the hallway, and the nurses, they're like astounded because like she's not supposed to be able to move even. And they're just like, no, I'm fine. She does a little jig or whatever, showing them that she's fine. And she phones her parents, and it's a miracle. And she goes home. She never feels this again. And she goes on to ride her horse again.
Wow.
And,
okay. So it's kind of a mystery that the horse fell on her and she didn't really get hurt. Okay. That's weird. But then her brain thinks she got hurt. And that's what she feels.
This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the fall in the bathtub did something to her head. And the actual leg thing didn't hurt her, but I think she was so astounded she was fine that her brains kind of told her she shouldn't be fine. after she
Right.
smacked her head.
Huh.
So that's what my thoughts on that are.
For some reason, it kind of reminds me like, have you ever seen a little kid fall down? And if nobody says anything, the kid gets up and they're fine. They're just like, oh, they just keep playing. But if people all of a sudden go, oh my God, are you okay? Then the kid starts crying.
Yeah.
Right? It's like their brain is like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to be hurt. And then they just start crying, right? Yeah. That's weird. I wonder if the horse was just so skilled that it fell in a way that the horse knew, like, if I fall like this, I won't hurt her, you know? Because it sounded like the horse really loved her, right?
Yeah.
Because it was usually going at a nice pace and all this, right?
So yeah, the horse could have played into it. But the neat thing about her healing was it just corrected what was being done in her brain. And
yeah.
So that's kind of a neat sort of warming sort of Christmas story.
You and your miracles. Mr. Miracles over here.
Mr. Miracle.
Wait, was that a wrestler? Mr. Miracle? No.
That's a great name for a wrestler, though.
Yeah.
What a gimmick that would be, Mr. Miracle.
I don't know what your finisher would be, though. Like, Miracle Slam?
It would be the Miracle Whip.
Wow. And it would be like off the clothesline.
Yeah, he just, I'll give him the miracle.
Okay, should I tell another story or should we go into Krampus? Like, we've got to talk about Krampus, right?
Well, you got another story?
I got one other story. It's pretty spooky. It's a ghost story.
Yeah,
it's Christmas ghost story. Now,
you know what that calls for?
Another cookie?
Another cookie.
Another cookie. Now, I don't know if people knew this or not, but actually, before television and radio, people used to get together and tell ghost stories to each other. And Christmas is no exception. Families used to get together and actually tell each other Christmas ghost stories around Christmas. So it's not that weird to have spooky Christmas, okay? The Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, that wasn't weird for him to have ghosts in the story. That was actually already a tradition to have Christmas stories with ghosts. So here's a Christmas story with a ghost for you. This takes place in New England, Bram's Hill House, which is this like really big mansion. And it's near the town of Workingham.
I love Workingham.
Yeah. So the story also has a Christmas ham in it.
I love ham.
So there's lots of different ghosts that get reported in this house, but one of the most famous ones is called the White Lady, and this is
The
her
White
story.
Lady?
The White Lady, yeah.
That's racist.
Well, no, you'll see why she's the White Lady. So the original story is Genevieve Orsini was a very rich Italian princess or baroness or something like that, and she was getting married at 14 years old, so she was really young. And they were doing the wedding at Christmas time. Oh, Christmas wedding. So that sounds really nice. She challenged. Oh, also, this didn't happen in England. This happens in Italy. The first part of the story here. So she challenges her husband, her new
To a
husband.
cage match?
That would be very strange. No, she challenges him to a game of hide and seek because that's fun, right?
That's still fun.
So she grabs the mistletoe because it's Christmas, and she grabs the mistletoe and she says, "I'm gonna go hide, and you need to find me." So the husband like closes his eyes. Everybody's the whole party, the whole like Christmas party is like watching this, and they're like, "Oh, this is fun." And she goes off and hides, and nobody knows where she hides. He looks for her everywhere and never finds her. She just seems to have just disappeared.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they don't know what happened to her. They never find her. This breaks up the whole family. Like, they're all devastated. They can't even live in their mansion anymore because this happened there. They're like so traumatized by it, right? So they sell their mansion, and they're selling all the stuff from the mansion. And this rich person in England, the person who owns Bramshill House, Baron Cope. So Baron Cope at the time, he's living in England, in this house that would later become haunted. He buys their chest, one of the giant chests that they had in the mansion, which nobody looked at what was in there, but it was locked.
No.
He buys this chest. It gets shipped to England. He opens the chest. It's got a lock on it, and he opens it, and he opens it up, and inside there's a skeleton in a white wedding dress holding a mistletoe.
Oh, that's so painful.
She crawled into this chest, and the lid closed and locked, and nobody looked for her there. Yeah.
Okay, but hold on for a question here. Why is she not shouting? Why is no one hearing her?
I don't know.
I'm thinking possibly a murder.
Oh wow. Extra elements. Maybe a jealous. Someone was jealous that he married her, and
I'm
then she
thinking maybe the
murdered.
husband might have killed her
Wow.
because he makes up the hide and seek story. Don't know where she went. Because think about this logically. If she's in the chest, isn't she shouting, I'm in here after like a couple hours?
I don't know. Maybe.
There's a hole in that plot.
Well, anyway, that's the story. Now, people report seeing. So it started with the Baron's wife. The Baron's wife claims that she sees this white woman, this like teenage girl in a wedding dress, carrying a mistletoe, floating through their mansion. So she gets really freaked out. Her kids can see this ghost. So the Baron he moves out of this mansion because he doesn't want to live there anymore. Other next people
He
who
killed her.
The next people who move in, they see the ghost too, and now there's just this like long legend of the white lady. She comes out and she's holding the mistletoe and she floats through the house. And she's wearing a wedding dress. And that's why she's the white lady, because she's wearing a wedding dress.
And Detective Enlightened One is able to pick this case apart. That's why she's a ghost, because ghosts have unfinished business, and she's trying to let people know she was murdered.
Could be, yeah. She could be trying.
I'm not 100% on this, but I'm 75.
We could transition to a crime, like an unsolved crime podcast. There's lots of those.
Yeah, we should do true crime a couple episodes of that because I'm on fire, baby.
Oh yeah, you can take it apart. Detective Miracle Man. The Miracle Man, the enlightened Miracle Man.
Yes. Okay, I got one more fluffy Christmas story.
I see though, like this is like it's the black and white. This is like the
it's like a black and white cookie.
Story.
It's like a black and white cookie.
It's like my grandma used to do when she burned the bottom of the cookies. She put extra powdered sugar on the top. Because it makes up for the burnt.
That's a good idea. I was thinking what you do is you put chocolate icing on that part, so then you put them upside down.
People don't know it's burnt yet.
Yeah, it's like, oh, look at this, there's chocolate icing on it. So this story is featuring Jimmy Vasquez and his wife Alicia, and when they meet, they fall madly in love. And the first thing they do after getting married, they get pregnant. Alicia gets pregnant.
Wait, they both get pregnant.
No, just Alicia. Okay. It's not the paranormal part of the story.
I was like, this is really paranormal. Wow.
Yeah. So, but the problem is she's diabetic and she gets toxemia, and so they have to do a C-section on this on to get the baby out, and the baby isn't 100% fully developed, so it has a bit of a heart murmur, and so things are touch and go with this baby, and they take it home, and they keep doing checkups and stuff, and they take him to the doctor one night after he wasn't doing too well. So they take him to the doctor one night, emergency, and they decide that this baby needs surgery. He needs to have surgery to fix this heart murmur, or he's not going to have. Apparently the heart could explode.
Wow.
And so this is right around Christmas, and they're just new family, new baby. This is rough, right? And so it's Christmas Eve, and his surgery is right on Christmas Eve, miraculously.
Wow.
And they're like, well, maybe we could take the baby out of the hospital to have some family time with him, take some pictures with Santa Claus, and just have that a little bit of family time before he's stuck in the hospital. And so they say it's okay, you can have your kid, just make sure that you can have him for a couple hours. Just make sure he's back because we got to prep him for surgery. So luckily there was a mall really close to the hospital, and so they got to the mall, and there was this long ass line, and they're at the back of the line with their baby, and Santa, he's like, "Come on!" He starts waving him to the front of the line. They're like, "Oh, me? What?" And he's like, "Yeah, come on, come on." He's like, and so they're like, "Okay." So they're walking past everyone, and Santa Claus is like, "Okay, let me hold the baby." And so he's just holding the baby, and the wife noticed he's got this twinkle in his eye. It's just this he's got this loving sort of presence, and he's just holding the baby, and he's like, "You know what I'm gonna give you for Christmas, little baby? I'm gonna give you a new heart." And the parents are like, "How did you know that?"
Well,
And he's like, "I'm Santa Claus." And they're like, he's like, "Well, would you like a picture with Santa Claus, your baby and Santa Claus?" And they're like, "Well, we'll get to the back of the line and we'll wait." She's like, "No, no, no. You guys got surgery. You got to get back to the hospital." And they're like, "Again, how did you know?" He's like, "I'm Santa Claus." They take a picture, and they get him back to hospital, prep surgery, and miraculously, actually, I'll hold that part. So the doctor comes out, and he says, "It didn't go like I thought it would. It went better than I thought it would. Miraculously, like this was like the best surgery I've ever had." And so they take the baby home, and he's got a bit of a scar right there, or bandage, whatever. And they wanted to go back to it's Christmas Day, and they wanted to go see the Santa. And just want to thank him for the encouragement or whatever, right? That was kind of cool. And so they go back to that mall, and they look at Santa, and it's a different guy.
whoa.
And they're like, they approach one of the elves, one of the ladies working there. He's like, "Okay, where's the Santa who was here yesterday?" And they're like, "This is the Santa from yesterday." He's like, "No, it's not." So they're arguing with her. They think and the manager of the mall comes, and he's like, "No, this has been our Santa every year for the last 5, 6 years. We don't have anyone else." And they're just flabbergasted because they even have the picture of them and the baby, and they're showing the guys from the hospital, and they're like, "I don't know who this is," and it could have been a Santa Claus angel.
Or the real Santa Claus.
Well, they think that it could be an angel posing as Santa Claus
Right.
because it has the
Interesting.
beard
Okay.
and the fake beard and everything.
Okay. Well, what did the angel do with that guy who was normally working?
What?
Okay, so you got this guy who normally works as their small Santa Claus, but
Yes.
the angel comes in. Where does that guy go?
Maybe I don't know. Like that's an interesting part of the story.
Maybe the angel came and said, like, "Hey, take a break," and just like gave him a donut or something to go eat.
Yeah, maybe he was just there and maybe he said, "Listen, you had a rough day." There could be a whole other part of the story that we don't know about.
Wow.
So that's
Truly
kind
a
of,
heart-warming story
yes.
about someone getting a new car.
Yeah. So what we were going to talk about reindeer.
Well, how do reindeer fly? Is it paranormal? Isn't Santa has magic? Actually, you know what's interesting about Santa Claus? It's probably the first paranormal story any of us hear. Because when we're kids, it is. Because think about it. It's not just like the storybooks we read. Our parents are telling us, no, this guy exists. And he brings us presents and he flies around on flying reindeer and he lives in the North Pole, right? And maybe you'll see him, but maybe you won't on Christmas night. And he's obviously magical because he can get to every single house on the planet, right? In one night. So it's actually like the first paranormal thing that we teach kids in our culture. And then they kind of like, did you believe in Santa Claus when you were a kid?
Yeah, I tell my brothers and sisters ruined it for me.
Yeah, that's pretty typical. When I was a kid, we had one of my uncles so when we had Christmas like with a whole family, one of my uncles would like mysteriously have taken a nap, and then Santa would come visit. And we're like, oh, Santa, and he'd give us presents and everything. And then
I
he'd leave.
remember.
And then my uncle would, and then the uncle would come downstairs and be like, "Oh, I was taking a nap. What happened?" I'd be like, "Oh my God, Santa was here." And they were pretty elaborate. Like, one of my uncles would actually go onto the roof of the house and like slam on the roof, so it sounded like something landed on the roof. Like they got to that level, and I was like, they were pretty.
I remember sleeping on Christmas Eve and hearing that kind of clip clopping on the roof and hearing ho ho ho, kind of like a silent. I'm like, oh my goodness, he's here. Would you tell your kid if you have kids? Would you tell them that Santa's real? Or?
Well, I feel like I know my nephew. I don't think my nephew ever believed it. I feel like now kids are more savvy. I mean, when they're really young, yeah, why not? I would probably. Yeah, it's like a cultural thing. Like, why not?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd be elaborate enough. Actually, I was a Santa Claus, if you could believe it, even though I'm so skinny. I put a pillow in my stomach for my nieces in Vancouver, or my niece and her friends. I was actually Santa Claus.
Well, we know the Tooth Fairy exists because it's The Rock.
The Rock is definitely the Tooth Fairy. Yeah, that's a weird movie, by the way. That's a very strange movie.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, but did you know that in some cultures, especially Austria and Germany, especially like 100 years ago, they not only believed in Santa Claus and Saint Nick would come to give presents to the good boys and girls, but they had someone who came and visited the naughty kids too. Have you ever heard of Krampus?
Yes, because of The Office.
Oh, was Krampus in The Office?
Yes, Dwight dresses up as Krampus one year.
So this is a real thing in Austria. They would have,
And it's a bit of racism too. He's got this little black kid sidekick.
like the real Krampus does, or in The Office?
Yeah, the real Krampus has this
Maybe.
little black. Little
There's a
sidekick.
lot of different legends. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not all the same. Some of them say that. So if you're on the naughty list, if you were bad all year, Krampus would come and visit you on Christmas Eve and sneak into your room, and he would cut open your stomach, take out your guts, and replace them with straw and pebbles.
That's horrible. Oh man, but you bet your kids behaved.
Well, you know, Germans, they really want their kids to behave. That's why so many German people are pretty well behaved. But yeah, so, and then there's also like the Krampus Run. I wrote down what else is it called. It's called the Krampus Lock, which is the Krampus Run. And it's a whole bunch of people who put on these Krampus masks. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It kind of looks like a demon. It's like a red, scary face. And they put on these fur costumes and this face, and they run around the streets. And apparently it's an ancient tradition to scare away other demons. Like they're doing this to scare away the like winter demons so that they can be safe over winter. That was the original intention. Sounds weird.
So the interesting thing about Christmas is there's a long history, and it's not really, it doesn't really happen anymore, of telling ghost stories.
Yeah, I already said that.
I was busy eating cookies.
I went over this.
So yeah, there's that one song of telling ghost stories of long ago.
But not all ghosts are bad, though, and that's something else we should point out. Like in Charles Dickens, The Christmas Carol, like the ghost of
Never heard of
Christmas
him.
Past, actually a nice ghost, right? Like there are some nice ghosts. You might just see ghosts.
Well, they're not necessarily nice ghosts, but they're trying to scare the shit out of you into being good.
into being good.
Yeah,
See, it all serves its purpose.
shock
so.
therapy.
Yeah.
Which ghost was the scariest in the Christmas Carol?
The Christmas Carol, well, probably is the ghost. The first ghost that visits him is the one that like.
It's his friend.
No, it's his friend. The ghost of Christmas Past with all the chains, because it's like dragging these chains along, right?
Yeah.
Because he's like, yeah.
The ghost of Christmas Future is the scariest one.
Oh, I remember there's like a Bill Murray movie, Scrooged.
Yeah, Scrooge
It's
was
like
so
takes
bad.
place in the modern day. Yeah, it's a really good.
Scrooge was
I should
such bad.
watch that.
I
It's a
want to
good
watch
Christmas
Scrooge.
movie.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Christmas movie? Favorite Christmas movie.
Scrooged.
Are you serious? Scrooged?
I love Scrooged.
Okay. I like Elf a lot. Elf's really good. It's just fun.
Elf
and
is right up there.
innocent. He's funny.
If you're watching, tell us what your favorite Christmas movie is. Let us know.
I like when Elf sees or hears that Santa Claus is coming, and he just freaks out, and he's like, "Santa, I know him." And that's a really funny clip.
I also really enjoy It's a Wonderful Life.
The old school one.
Yeah. Was there a new one?
No, I don't. Not probably.
Shouldn't they remake that? Like, get it?
I'm
all
sure
out the
they.
gate?
There's probably a Disney Channel version.
No, you need to get some like Hollywood people, like some big names.
Home Alone's kind of fun too.
Ooh.
Home Alone. It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I guess it is.
It is. I mean, it takes place during Christmas.
Well, then Batman Returns is a Christmas movie too.
Batman Returns is definitely a Christmas movie. Any fans of Batman Returns out there? You got the Penguin. You got the Catwoman. Ooh, that's spooky. That's a spooky Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Die Hard's a Christmas movie.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. Jinx, you owe me a black-eyed children drink.
You know who really loves Die Hard?
Bruce Willis.
No. Do you know who really loves the Die Hard movies?
Bruce Willis's wife.
Don't think about it. The Die Hard fans.
Oh. Home Alone 1 or Home Alone 2?
I think our viewer there just said both of them.
You said 1 or 2, but what are you picking?
What am I going to put? Oh, 1 is for sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
2's pretty cool, I guess, but 1 is just because like he's protecting his own home, you know.
You know what pisses me off about Home Alone 1?
What's that?
The end. The mother doesn't apologize for leaving him at home. She just hugs him and loves him. She doesn't say, "I'm so sorry, Kevin."
Yeah, it's true.
Like, apologize to your kid. Jeez.
Yeah.
Parents don't have to own up to anything.
He could have been murdered. They could have murdered him if they got into the house.
Yeah, would the parents be negligent if he died? Would they be, could they get manslaughter charges
I don't think so. No.
if he died?
Because it's not their fault that robbers came and robbed their house.
No, but it's their fault they left him at home.
I suppose.
Interesting question, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Hold on. That's good.
do you have any other things to talk about? Any final thoughts?
I mean, Krampus is kind of weird. I don't know if anybody else does any other weird Christmas traditions. Yeah, Santa Claus is definitely the first paranormal story anybody ever hears, at least in our culture. It's super weird.
You know who I really loved the most was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman when I was a kid. And I really loved that.
Sad.
Yeah, and I
Doesn't
really loved
Frosty,
Happy
like,
birthday
melt?
when he comes to life.
Doesn't he melt though and die?
But he comes back again next year
I guess so.
if it snows. If it doesn't snow, we won't see him for another year.
Yeah, well, not. Good luck making a snowman in Vancouver.
Yeah, like sometimes we get some snow here, but
Yeah, we had a little bit of last week. Yeah,
we get from Winterpeg. So
I'm going back to Winnipeg and to go see some family.
someone told me that people.
We will be missing 1 week, so for all
Yeah,
our
we're taking
diehard
a
fans,
we're taking a
Christmas
we're taking a
vacation.
1 week break from this and the other podcast, and we'll be back again
in the new year with some new freaky stories. Maybe we'll do some
Yeah.
true crime. Ooh, who knows?
or some fake crime. No.
Fake crime. Oh, that's a twist. Here's some fake crime for you.
It didn't happen.
Just stuff we made up. Just here's some crime that could have happened but didn't. We made it up.
Or we can make up some fake ones and some real ones, and people
Mix them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, go to fnwrestling.com and hit our social media, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, this show is on there as well on fnwrestling.com on the FN studio. And yeah, buy a shirt at Pro Wrestling Tees /FN Wrestling.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's the show, buddy. What do you think?
Hit the subscribe button. You haven't subscribed yet, you should do it. Tell a friend.
Yeah, you know, subscribing oh, you know what? Hold on. Back it up. Beep, beep, beep. Um, you know, I think that you should pray over the shirts too when they get sold.
Oh yes, I can do that too. We can offer that.
And
service.
maybe in the new year we could get like little vials of water that we pray over, and like we could send some holy water to.
I feel like we might get sued by the Catholic Church.
maybe call it enlightened water.
I don't know. This is a sketchy topic. We should probably talk to our lawyers
Okay,
first.
we're just gonna pray over the shirts.
The shirts we can do. The shirts, no problem.
We'll pray for your
We
shirts.
guarantee that.
You will have a holy shirt on your back if you buy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's it for this week.
All right, everybody, keep on wrestling the paranormal. Woo!